up, everybody? It is a Victory Monday here on our side of the world. Uh, another fun episode that we got lined up for you here on the JNS Philadelphia Sports Stop. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rychel, and my partner in crime for these Monday nights is Mr. Justin Fiorillio. Justin, how are we feeling today, my friend?
A win's a win, right? Because, hey, it was a win, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. And I think it's really, really encouraging to see that one of the greatest defensive units that not only the Philadelphia Eagles have ever had, but probably like the freaking NFL. This defense is so elite. But certainly, there's a lot to talk about, a lot of positives. Unfortunately, there's a couple negatives, but we'll get into it. And I think I feel the most right now, Steve, encouraged that they're winning football games. But I'm still very curious how this team's going to do in the postseason.
Listen, man, all right, a lot to digest. We're gonna try to get to as much of it as we can.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, listen, I think you made a post. You had one of these graphics in this. If you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, this was pretty much how we felt yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
It was just up and down and all over. It's over. We're back. Like, bro, what's going on? It's over. And then
it was one of the most heart attack waiting to happen. Really, I mean, it was so. And the games always are like that, right? I mean, they always are.
Yeah, But listen, when you're playing an elite team on the road in the conditions, you don't expect 80 points between two teams to be dropped. You don't. You don't. And you typically, when you have elite teams like that, that's not typically the type of games you see. When you have it, it's typically defenses wind up stepping up, and they're the ones that kind of take the game over. So it's one of these things, man, where you can look at it a bunch of different ways. But I'm gonna go. My headline of this one was we're talking about this Eagles defense absolutely smothering the Buffalo Bills offense. Had Josh Allen looking like a pedestrian trying to cross a highway, man.
Yep.
And coming into the game, they were the number one overall rushing attack in the NFL. Yep. We go up there to Buffalo and we hold them to 12 points. You can sit there and we'll get to the offense, as we get there. But when you completely shut down the reigning MVP, and he's banged up. You have a game where Jalen Hunt has a bunch of sacks. You have Breadman finally getting back in the sack column, a block extra point. Listen, and
turned out to be a big blocked extra point, right? Because without that, that's how it works out. It's always funny how that works.
He must have been hearing that smack I was talking about last week, man. Because he's like, oh yeah, watch me block this and watch me get a sack that looks, completely eats up.
The funny thing is, when you put content out, you actually never know when the players, because they're just like humans, they're all on their phone too. You never know if they actually do hear shit like that, right? So it's funny. Funny you said that. But he did step up, though, bro. He did.
I'll take it on the chin. I was talking a lot of smack, especially because he missed. Yeah. He hasn't showed up in a lot of these games. Suspended a game. Missed 3-4 games due to injury. And you had him get in over Jordan Davis in the Pro Bowl, and I'm like, how does that happen, right? Yeah. But Jalen Carter is one of the premier defensive tackles in the NFL. I know Quinion Williams up there, and you got Dex down there in New York. You have a lot of top flight defensive tackles in the NFL, but
apparently Brandon Graham now too, right?
Yeah, considering in a 3-game span, he has 3 sacks, and they were coming from that defensive tackle position. So you gotta tip your cap to BG on that one. But
man, it's incredible. We've talked about this numerous times. I mean, it's just it's great not only for the locker room, but that's what everyone thought it was the number one thing. But it turns out it was on the field too. I mean, he's producing on the field, which is great. Yeah. So, yeah.
So, and let's talk about that defense for a second. I want to pull this one.
Oh, yeah.
So, to fully understand how well the Eagles defense played Sunday, you have to fully understand what they were up against. The Bills were averaging 29 points a game, right? They scored a season 12. Josh Allen 6 NFL touchdown passes. He didn't throw any. Buffalo running game was 1-2 in the NFL, 5.1 yard carry. They averaged 3.6. The Bills hadn't scored 12 or fewer points at home since the 2001 season. That's more than 4 years ago, people. 4 years ago.
Wow.
You could sit there, we can argue what the offense did or didn't do, but when you get it into these slugfest, defense is the one who you want to win. And they showed out and they showed up exactly when they needed to. Josh Allen wasn't able to. He had a couple scrambles where I kind of felt like they probably should have did more. But it's one of those things where it's like, listen, he's the MVP for a reason. He puts a lot on himself. So I'm not going to sit there and tear the offense apart, because the Bills defense showed up too. It wasn't just our defense. So it's like we're sitting here, all the content creators and media people were talking about how terrible the Eagles offense was. Regardless of, I'm not going to sit there saying, ugly win's a win. I'm not. We will get to the offense. I promise you. But, let's give the defense their flowers, man. They've been playing lights out this year. Here in Philadelphia, like there's two defenses that we talk about in the city. The 91 Eagles, all right? Yep. And we talk about the 04 Eagles.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Now, meanwhile, we've had two different teams win Super Bowls, and we don't talk about those defenses, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of the star power, and I mean, hey, look, they had great defensive players and amazing defenses, but you're right, a lot of the attention did go to the offense in those Super Bowls. I think, Steve, this year could be different. I've talked about it many times on my page and shows and stuff and whatnot. This defense is like historically good. They need a nickname. They seem to have like just unbelievable star power at every position. Literally, and it's crazy. They're just shutting everybody down. Everybody's supposed to beat the Eagles until it's time to play the Eagles, and then the Eagles end up, usually winning. But it's just
listen. As terrible as the performance of that Chargers game, we were in overtime. We were within 2 points of it. Like, we can have that argument when we get there.
I mean, 5 turnovers. We didn't deserve to win that game, to be honest. But
the only game I really say, like, they probably probably should circle that one as a look in the mirror is obviously the Black Friday Bears game in the first game against the Giants.
Yeah, I was at that Black Friday game, dude. That was so worst experience of any game I've been to this year. It's terrible.
A lot of times you need that game. You need those games as especially being a defending Super Bowl champs, right, where you have it, and then you even look at we're looking where the Bears are right now. Like, listen, we're hoping that the Lions beat them next week, because hey, we didn't sit anybody, because that was one of the things we talked about last week.
Yeah,
we're a win against the Commanders and another Bears loss against Detroit to potentially still wind up at the 2 seed.
Yeah, I think that's it's crazy how that works. You just never know. And I guess we'll get into it or maybe touch on it. Is like, will they start the players? Are they going to start the players?
We'll look at potential matchups and stuff like that. So, but we were talking about Josh Allen here, so let's remind them. Let's remind them about something, right? There's only one team he's never beaten. He's never beaten our Eagles. Josh Allen is an amazing talent in this league. He's the league MVP, but he's seen us, I think, twice. I think it's only twice, and we've beaten him both times. We beat him here in Philadelphia. We beat him in his backyard yesterday with a hellacious defensive effort, and can't talk that away. Like, regardless of how bad the offense played the second half.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't probably so much beating the Eagles that was going through his mind, like being the last team on his little checkerboard there, but probably just beating the team and winning the game on that last play that made him miss that throw because the pressure of just being able in that moment to win the football game, it got to him because that ball was a good couple feet away from the receiver, and
Yeah,
and I
but
think that's all
I think
that's all
I think
mostly
Brady
on Josh
touched on
Allen.
it. I think Brady touched on it too. Like a lot of times when you see that play, you do kind of lead them to the corner.
Yeah,
But as he also said, like when you're in that situation, it's a 2-point conversion. You don't want to have one sail on you. You want to just throw right to his body. But
yeah.
you know,
Adrenaline though, man. You're in the moment,
tight coverage, on their guys all day long. That it was a battle, right?
Oh yeah.
But the other side of that, right? Obviously we're very critical of the offense in the second half, and that's for good reason, right? But let's talk about yet again how the Zebras kept them in the game. There was a couple questionable offensive PI calls on the other side, but let's not remember, like, we had a clear catch by Devontae Smith, but apparently there was evidence to turn that over. I barely see the ball move, but apparently incomplete. We want having to punt the ball.
Yep.
But then you get this play, a couple drives later where like literally like two hands on AJ's arm, he almost one hands it. No penalty called there. There's been a bunch of times I felt this season when we're talking about Jalen Hurts, he doesn't get the calls that Patrick Mahomes get or Josh Allen gets, or he gets thrown around like a rag doll, both in between the lines, and a lot of times where he does have his scrambles and he gets out, he is on the white, he gets hit, and there's either if a flag does get thrown, it immediately gets pulled up.
Yeah.
And listen.
Yeah.
I get the league has their darlings and all, but like call it the same way across the board. I don't care if we're talking about the quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, or we're talking about our Eagles, or if we're talking about if we're talking about Mahomes, if we're talking about Burrow, if we're talking about like all of them, they call it universally.
Yeah.
Universally.
But it's unfortunate they always call it different for the pocket passer as opposed to the runner quarterback, right? Like Jalen Hurts is more mobile, and they always seem to call those differently. It's not just Jalen Hurts. It's been like it started with Michael Vick. I remember, it was always the running kind of quarterback they treated just differently. Even Lamar gets it a little bit now, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Lamar, another one playing with injuries too, right?
Hey, how about that Steelers-Ravens game? It's going to be for the freaking division next week. Who would have thought that?
Man.
They've been up and down, both those teams, all year, man. It's crazy.
It is crazy, and the Steelers let one get away,
to the Browns. They never lose to the Browns. That's their thing. They just literally don't lose to the Browns.
Now, we'll get into some of that other stuff later on, but like there's a lot to digest with this game, right? And let's start talking about this offense. And I came over this, and Mr. Driegel had absolutely hits this one on the head. Offensive playing call has specific flaws in it. No rub routes for Goddard. No quarterback design RPOs. We talked about the RPOs a few weeks ago here. Sitting down against man coverage with your wide receivers, never trapping on a run, never running a bootleg away for Barkley. Motion having amnesia that worked in the first half, and the offensive coaching laughs in the high school mood again. I agree with that sentiment right there. For a whole half, mind-numbing offense car. Nick and Kevin cannot see the light of day next year. I disagree with saying that Nick can't see the light of day next year. Yeah. Kevin Patullo absolutely cannot be the offensive coordinator for this team. He has shown throughout this season. It's just it's vanilla of vanilla of vanilla, man. It's just plain, man. It's not vanilla bean, nothing. It's just plain vanilla. So
and if you really, and I don't want Nick to go, I'm right with you there, Steve. But if you really want Nick to go with Kevin, it's kind of like, okay, like if you think it's Nick's fault too, like it's still the Knicks offense anyway. Well, under Nick Sirianni, you've still been to 2 Super Bowls and you won one. So it's probably the offensive coordinator more than it is Nick. So It probably is because it's a fact almost. It's like when he has certain better offensive coordinators who prove themselves to even other teams, like Shane Steichen, for example. They're just better. I mean, the team's better. So, yeah, I think Patullo is going to have to go. Now, here's the only thing: like, if they win the Super Bowl, we'll see, but probably still has to go.
I mean, listen, we talked about it.
It's not looking the best,
There isn't really a team that scares me, but like defense wins Super Bowls. We've seen it,
right?
We 85 Bears did it. The 2001 Ravens did it. They did it with Trent Dilfer, right? They did it with Trent Dilfer.
Those Giants teams that beat the Patriots, it was mostly defense, the defensive line. I
got in an argument with a Giants fan about that. He was like, "Oh, Eli balled out in the playoffs." I'm like, "Stop playing with me, dude. Come on."
No, game manager Eli.
Listen, he has two of the most heroic postseason performances.
Oh yeah, no.
When they won both of their Super Bowls, but
yeah,
he's a 500 winning quarterback when we're talking about the NFL. Jalen Hurts has ridiculous numbers, and we were, which one is it? Is it this one? No, that's not the one. This is the one. Right, here we go. Right. So since losing to Patrick Mahomes, Jalen is 9-0 against Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, the elite quarterbacks in the NFL today, right?
Yeah. It just becomes funny anymore, man. It just becomes funny when the Eagles end up just winning against these big matchups like, Mahomes and Allen and Burrow and all that.
But he's
like
carried. No, he's carried. It's this elite offense, right?
Yeah. Well, apparently, right, according to the haters.
This year, I can sit there and say, like, we have an elite defense this year. We do. I mean, like, the numbers are starting to show it. But, I mean, all that guy does is win, man. All he does is win.
I know.
He wins against the best. He doesn't, every quarterback is up and down, and sometimes you get beat by the not just the scheme that you're playing against. It's just it's not your day. Your decision making isn't on point. Your reads aren't on point. It happens, but.
Yeah. Here's a stat I'd be curious about. In his first few years, is he like right now, like Jalen Hurts, like the top 2, like in winning percentage since like coming into the league and like league history? Like, where does he rank up in like winning percentage all time? Because
in the first 5 years, I think like he is like 2 or 3. And
he has to be
like all time for somebody in their first handful of years. I think
against anybody.
I think it's like, I think it's like Dan Marino, and I think there's someone else. I think it is Patrick Mahomes that
I'm going to look into that after this.
I think he's third. I think it's if I remember correctly, it's Dan Marino, Patrick Mahomes, then Jalen Hurts for all time for their first handful years in the league as far as wins and winning percentage. So
interesting. All right.
So and we're talking about how terrible this offense are, right? Well, guess what? He did it again. 1,000 yards.
1K always open. 1K always open.
He's got over 5,000 yards since coming into the league. AJ, and guess what? And guess what? Devontae Smith only needs 69 yards against the Commanders in order for him to have his 1,000 yards as well. So again,
that's going to be tough. That's kind of tough to get though. But
as terrible as Jalen Hurts has been, he might have 2,000-yard receivers and a tight end. We talked about it last week, right? He tied the record. He broke the record last night, right?
Yeah.
As he's got 11 career 11 touchdowns this season, breaking the former record I think was set in like 1965, Pete Retzlaff. So
I know we couldn't believe it wasn't Zach Ertz or Brent Selleck. I was
like the most there was 8, and it was Brent Selleck had the most with 8. Prior prior to
I just really thought like that 2019 like Wentz to Ertz season. Ertz might have had it one of those years, like I don't know.
I think that's why he's got like the catches in the yards, but I just think a lot of times like when he got down there, like he.
True.
Yeah, I mean, my most memorable touchdown for Zach Ertz is the go ahead score in the Super Bowl. So.
Oh, the one that just tapped at the end zone there, yeah.
Yeah,
reaches across. Great play. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, before we get into some of this other stuff, obviously, Christmas just passed and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And this fan makes this post, so I'm gonna show it for you in a second, and then I want to know what was the worst sports related present that you have ever gotten from one of your family members. I'm gonna show this one because this fan.
Oh God. Wait, is that from a while ago, or is this like somebody just got this past Christmas?
Someone just got this. in comments was like, bro, my aunt can't be serious right now. Getting him a Jalen Reagor jersey.
Look, man, first thing you got to do is you got to go get some tape and some markers and make that into a meme jersey. Write whatever you want for the name and the lettering, and then go to the link with like a meme jersey or something. Like Dallas sucks on it.
Here's the thing.
I don't know. Whatever.
If you go to some of these sports shops, I think it's like $30 to $40. You can get the nameplate changed out.
Pay that $30 to $40, my guy.
Yeah, don't use the tape. Get them.
You're gonna get heckled by your own fan base if you wear a Jalen Reagor Eagles jersey.
Man, you might as well go back, turn that to like Dante Stallworth or something like that, or Jeremy Maclin. Like any other person that wore the number 18, you could probably get away, but not Jalen Reagor, man.
So Dorial Green Beckham wore 18.
My worst one was from an ex-girlfriend. She thought it was a good idea to give me an Eli Manning jersey one year for.
Oh wow!
I mean, this was like, when we the post Chip Kelly years and stuff like that. I don't know what made her thought it was a good idea to do that, but that was
just like a joke.
Reagor's bad, but I don't know. Eli Manning could have been just as worse.
Well, it had to be a joke. I mean, she had to know you're a diehard Eagles fan.
It's only tattooed on my arm, dude.
Damn, dude. Well, hey, I mean, talk about a crazy prank or joke gift, if that's what it was. I mean, giving you an Eli Manning's jersey.
I made her go back. I'm like, if you're gonna get me a different jersey that is not a Philadelphia, I'm like, let's keep it like Pittsburgh Steelers. So she got me a Roethlisberger jersey. We traded it back immediately.
Well, it's not so. It's kind of. I have a similar kind of story. It's not so much like that per se, because I actually have to think about it. I don't want to take too much time to think about it. But I do know the first thing that popped to my mind was a Christmas party where my mom actually. It was around Christmas time, and the Packers were playing, and I guess the Eagles were playing as well around the same week or same time or whatever. And she doesn't really know football that well, and she got cookies that were Packer cookies, and she's like, I got your Eagle cookies, and they were the little green Packer logo ones, and I was like, whatever, man. I still ate.
What's this?
Yeah, I still ate the cookies.
There's dog treats. I give it to the dog.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Yeah, put it right down the toilet. But I mean, whatever. Hey. Those cookies weren't half bad. I had a few of them. just the wrong logo at the Christmas party, but whatever. We all had to bring cookies, I guess. And I'm like, bring the Eagle ones, and she brought freaking Packer ones. I'm like, gotta be serious. Yeah.
Oh man. So speaking of Christmas presents, I came across this. I don't know if it's true or not. I absolutely hope it's true. So I heard AJ Brown was feeling festive and decided he reportedly gave some Philadelphia sports media empty boxes to show how many whats he gives.
Now, is this a meme, or is this like actually kind of a real report, like where he did it as kind of like
it was a meme, but it wasn't one of those garbage accounts, the one that tells us like twice a week that somebody's died and stuff.
Is it sad that I totally thought it could be real? Like I really thought it was real. Like it's something that could be real nowadays, man. It could be.
Listen, 100%. I could see AJ doing that.
100%. Yeah.
Honestly, I could see them, like especially the WIP guys. I could definitely see AJ
100%.
Sending them empty boxes.
That's why I had to ask. I genuinely didn't know if that was like a meme or a real report.
I think if you ask me, I'm leaning on the meme side. But if that is real, AJ. Bravo.
Well, I'll tell you this much: his real thoughts, like in his head, are probably totally like f those guys. You know what I mean? Like the WIP and all that. You know, all those fucking the guys that are just
And that
on him
brings
and
me to
shit.
my next point. So when we first heard that they were doing this NFC East hard knock stuff, I wasn't for it. I wasn't for it. But do you want to know what I find funny since that started airing, right? It's interesting how all those Eagle drama articles stopped coming out, right? Since Hard Knock started. It's real. David's spot on right here. You ain't hear any of those articles coming out no more. That there's dissension in the locker room. You know, people are pointing fingers. There's a problem with Jalen and AJ. There's all this stuff going. That's all ended. You haven't heard a peep out of it. Dave's spot on with that, man. Because we haven't seen any of those reports. Because you can just.
I wonder why that is. Is it just because they're like showing it out in the open more, and it's like, well, wow.
Listen, people don't like to get called out, and they BS, man.
Yeah.
When they do half-hearted reporting and sensationalized media, we've seen it all, man. Especially here in Philadelphia. So, listen, that's the one thing I guess I'm kind of glad that we did do Hard Knocks, because now we're not even seeing them anymore. So, thank you, HBO Max. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy about those guys? I can't imagine how many clips they have that they can't release to the public. You know what I mean? Like just stuff like conversations and stuff that they see that it's like there's probably some just some editor, some guy just working a 9-to-5 job at home who's like, holy shit! You won't believe what I just saw Saquon Barkley say to Jalen Hurts today, and I can't say
one of the clips that came out from just the scrums after practices was great. Was someone had to ask Saquon about Sirianni, and basically he's like, listen, when I was in New York, I hated that mofo.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
and then like you just see. How he's been since he's been here. I guess his relationship with Nick since he's been here, and I'm pretty sure that hate melted away like the freezing rain and ice has done here in Philadelphia over the last few days. So
yeah.
It's one of those things that sometimes having the extra cameras and microphones around are worth it, and sometimes when you do want some privacy, you do want to keep some stuff in house. Yeah. But one of the things I noticed, when watching some of the Hard Knocks, was one of the graphics he put up a few weeks ago was just, I think is another reason why we're going to see this offense be conservative in situations where they have the lead, is because the turnover fact, man. Like they're 42 in 2 or 10 or something like that when they win the turnover battle.
Yep.
It's insanity. And when you win that and you win that consistently, this is why, Nick is, one of the head I think one of 3 head coaches that, have, X amount of wins in their first 5 seasons with being with a team. So,
he's like the most winningest coach of like ever. Also, literally, but also like the most winningest coach that wants to get fired by his own fan base half the time. You know what I mean? It's crazy. The story of Nick Sirianni is just kind of like
everyone wonders what he does, man. Like those guys in that locker room believe in him. Like
who cares what he does? They play for him.
Fletcher Cox was after the meltdown 2 years ago, right? And they were just like asking him these silly questions. And look. Fletch had this look on his face like he wanted to just pick up this reporter and throw him across the room. Because it's like, listen, like what does Nick do? I think he does a lot, man. Like he may not be, the guru that somebody like John Gruden is. Everyone talks about how great he was. Well, won Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Can't be that great of a guru. I love John Gruden. He's he was here for the Ray Rhodes era.
Yeah. He has some Eagles ties. Yeah, you're right. I think, but whatever it is, the players play for him. They play for Coach Sirianni. They believe in him. And and maybe maybe his X's and O's are underrated. Maybe we don't give him enough credit.
He takes a lot of heat, not only for the players but for the coaches. He'll take the bullet so somebody else doesn't have to eat it, and that's another reason why I think like it doesn't matter, what he isn't great at or exceptional at, is that the team concept he gets more than any of them, and he's never gonna put his guys in a position where they have to answer uncomfortable questions. Yeah. Well, coach said this about you. Coach said this. Oh, coach blamed you for this. If they're gonna do anything, it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen behind closed doors where that player, that coach isn't gonna have to answer those questions from the media. And I think you can't put a dollar amount on that. You can't talk that stuff away. The team aspect is what he gets the most, and I think they may not be the best prepared because they do have mental mistakes and stuff like that, but he always walks these guys through some things. So but when we're talking about the offense ineptity, again, man, there was a couple times where you're seeing some of the stuff being ran, and we can talk about scheme. We could talk about, taking the foot off of the gas and being conservative and stuff like that. Man, the offensive line needs to get it the freak together. Like, we were talking about, last week talking about resting guys. Listen, your boy Seth Jordan said it right, man. He's like, I don't care what it is that how many snaps they got to take Sunday. They have to take every single one of them because they need to figure this thing out right now. So that 90% of the time when there's a negative play, it's because somebody's missed an assignment and there's some defensive lineman, linebacker, whatever, hitting Saquon in the backfield a half a step after Jalen's put the ball in his chest.
Yep.
So,
I mean, look, they had 17 yards in the second half of the game yesterday, whatever. So if they don't play any offensive starters in this last game, that's the last you're going to see as an encouraging sign going into the NFL playoffs from our offense. With 17 yards in the second half, I'm a little bit torn because I think they should. I don't want anybody getting hurt. They need to get rested up. We want them fully ready to go. This team is a little banged up here and there, but the thing is, the offense, the offense just didn't look good. They just don't look good most of the time. So, they just need to get. I might play them like a quarter or a half, maybe. So I don't know.
And if anything, I should say the defense should probably, because they were on the field for 72 snaps last night.
Yeah,
72 snaps. The offense barely took 50.
Yeah.
So if I'm saying if anybody should be getting a break, it's the defense. It's definitely the defense.
Don't count to 72 right now.
I also think I think Nakobe Dean should sit as well.
Yeah.
Regardless if he's healthy or not, let him run around in the practice field. I don't want to see him Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Q. I don't want to see Coop. I don't want to see Zach Bond. Jordan and Jalen. Nope.
Yep.
Jalen Phillips, he got a little banged up yesterday. Don't want to see him either. But one thing I do want to mention, and again, another graphic I came through and absolutely rings a bell. You know whose name we haven't really heard in a negative light since he took over a starter role? Is Mr. Epps. Like since Marcus Epps has been elevated from the practice squad, been in the safety position after Sidney Brown had that absolutely terrible game in Dallas. We didn't really heard anything from him. Him and Reed Blankenship been holding it down on the back end, and
true enough. Yeah, we got to give him some props. Very underrated, unsung hero, of this defense. The last, recently here since the Sidney Brown decision and all that. But Epps is definitely playing pretty solid. For the most part, I think he's. It's definitely we got to give him his flowers.
Yeah, we definitely do, and he definitely deserves to be given said flowers. So hats off, because Mukumba had some rough starts at the beginning, but being a rookie in this league again in Vic Fangio's defense, and
Yeah.
basically only having less than a handful of bad games early on in the season, and really didn't hear much like coverage wise Makumba stuff. I mean, obviously, Cook's cooking us for 2 bombs yesterday. Didn't really sit well with me, but looked like one of them was just one of those things where Coop released, let him go, and then either Epps or Reed didn't get there in time, and Josh made us pay for it. But for the most part, like, we haven't heard anything negative, at least from Marcus Epps in the last handful of games. So got to give him his props. I mean, obviously, 2 of those games are against the Commanders and the Raiders, so you take that with a grain of salt. But like even yesterday, like he wasn't just consistently getting torn down. Like I already said, like there was a couple plays that felt like one of them that the Bills knew the ball hit the ground, and that 150-50 ball over Q, I think it hit the ground, and that's why they quick got it to the line and got a playoff before we could even really look at it to see if there was something to replay there. So
good.
I'm proud of what we did yesterday. Offense just needs to find a way to be more consistent in the second. You can't play halves of football. You can't not show up in the first half and then
it's
play.
It's so weird though that like they always consistently this year very consistently play these one good halves of football and then these other really bad halves. What the hell is up with that? You know what I mean? Like what? Like it's so weird, dude. It happens almost like in 3/4 of their games.
It's one of those things, but it's something we talked about a few weeks ago. Like I feel like they didn't play 4 quarters of football until the Super Bowl last year. I didn't.
Yeah. So hey, do it again this year. I'll wait till the Super Bowl.
Right. Do it. Yeah, right. Just listen. Make sure you guys average, about 30 points a game once we get into the playoffs. And let the
you want the Kevin Patullo offense to score 30 points a game in the playoffs. All right, I have faith in that.
I don't. But listen, you got to start somewhere, right? And that's what I'm hoping for. But the encouraging thing you have to say about it, like regardless how up and down the offense is every time we played a contender, we've beaten them except the Bears.
Yeah. Yeah, I never want you to ever bring up the Bears game again. I am so
no.
I'm so traumatized from that damn Black Friday game.
I'm sure. I'm sure Nick Sirianni and Vic Fangio will not let them forget that Bears game. Nor should they. It should be a barometer. Like, listen, this is what happens when you don't show the bleep up. So listen, this is what I want. But they've shown that they rise up against the teams that they're supposed to rise up against. Yeah. I mean, obviously the offense didn't, but the defense did yesterday. When you shut down a high-powered offense like that, you just listen. You can't look at what could have been on the other side or what should have been on the other side. Let it go, man. Just let it go. There's plenty of other things that when you look across the league, it's not a complete team. There's not a single team that's complete. So like, listen. If we're talking about the AFC or if we're talking about I think it's wide open for anyone. We could lose it. We could run the table. It's possible, but like, listen.
Yeah. Nobody can really be honestly. I mean, honestly, maybe there's just a tiny handful, but nobody's really going to be surprised if the Eagles can win the Super Bowl again because it's like you said, there is no clear cut. The 07 whatever Patriots that were about to be 19-0. You remember that? Like they're just like the best team. Everyone's gonna lose to them. Like that doesn't exist anymore, especially this year. So yeah,
parity is out there, man. You got a couple divisions that haven't been closed off yet, but like I'm just getting sick of this Josh Allen love, man, because.
Josh Allen, Allen is so amazing, I guess.
Here's my thing about this. Is he the MVP? Yes. Is he a great talent?
Oh, he's amazing. He's a great quarterback.
But let's turn this around, right? If Jalen Hurts lost a fumble, that went 27 yards the other way, we wouldn't hear the end of it.
Oh, there'd be memes there, everything. Yeah, it's Jalen Hurts.
If Jalen Hurts, has a 3rd and 8 play where he loses 21 yards and knocks them out of field goal range, we never hear the end of it. And then
how many turnovers did he have yesterday, Steve? Jalen Hurts. He had 0.
Exactly.
Yep, 0.
But then in the biggest moment on the 2-point conversion, if Jalen Hurts misses A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, whoever in the back of the end zone, it would be national news. Yep. But because it was Josh Allen.
Yep.
It's damn crickets. It's like, oh man, like that. You almost had him, kid. But it's like on the other side of it, we're talking about how terrible the Eagles' offense was.
Yeah.
How about how terrible the Bills are? They scored 12 points.
Yeah, I've even seen some kind of national narrative that like Josh Allen led the Bills almost to victory, like he led them back and all that. 13 points, nothing. Like okay, whatever. Yeah, but like he didn't seal the deal. He didn't get the job done. Okay, and that's what matters most. Here's the thing: is Jalen Hurts
and not being held accountable for it.
Correct. And Jalen Hurts probably, for what it's worth, makes that throw at the end. I don't know why. Not that Josh Allen can't make that throw. Obviously, he would make it 9 out of 10 other times. But just in the moment, in the pressurized moments, it's what we always talk about. Jalen Hurts rises to the occasion. And Josh Allen has, yet to reach a Super Bowl and I guess prove that consistently. Same with Lamar Jackson. Same with a few handful of other guys, too. So it is what it is.
Now, we're looking at that NFC picture, and when we look at the projected seeding charts, right?
Yeah.
The crazy thing I think that no one's talking about is how banged up the Niners have been, and they have a chance to not only win their division, but end up with the 1 seed after everything's all said and done.
I've been saying they're just going under the radar. They're very underrated. The Niners are somebody that I don't want. I mean, I don't care who we face, and we're going to beat, I believe, anybody. But I don't want to see the Niners out really because I think they could pose some issues.
1 seed, I don't want to see them. If they're coming here, I'll see them here all day long. I almost want Seattle to win just because of it. But here's the crazy thing, right? Here's the crazy thing. If they win it, if they happen to beat the Seahawks next week, they have home field advantage in every game here on out would be at their stadium, including the Super Bowl.
That's almost unheard of. It actually is. I guess it is. But, whoever would have that opportunity, right? What the hell?
And then the other side of it is we need Detroit to spoil the Bears party if we want to wind up with the 2 seed. Obviously, we still have to take care of our business, but we're both playing at the same time this week. So
after that Christmas game, I can't trust Detroit.
Listen, there's some prideful people down there in Detroit. I guarantee you, anything that the spoil what the Chicago Bears are doing would not surprise me.
And to be honest, I can't trust the damn Bears either. Nobody really can until they prove it.
The biggest surprise is when I'm looking at all these graphics and potential things. Obviously, the Green Bay Packers are the 7th seed. So if we wind up being the 2 seed, that's probably who will play. The interesting thing is if we wind up with that 3 seed, it'll probably be the Rams, right?
Yep.
So, but the craziest thing about this is that the Carolina Panthers, if they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are going to be the divisional winner and going to be in the playoffs this year. Like,
it just feels odd a little bit. Like either just kind of like the Carolina Panthers won the division and they're going to have a home playoff game. It's like, oh, nobody really saw that.
Yeah, right. Crazy parity in the NFL.
Those are the type of teams that win 1 or 2 playoff games out of nowhere. You just like they have nothing to lose.
Yeah. It's you're
like the Jaguars that 1 year, the year we won our Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl.
Playing with house money, man.
Yeah, like portals.
So let's switch gears here and talk a little baseball, right?
Yeah.
So
speaking of which, remind me, I have something you're invited to. I want to announce at the very, very end of the show. Baseball, Phillies related.
There you go. Now, World Baseball Classic is coming, right?
Oh yeah.
And a couple Phillies had made their announcements what they intend to do. First and foremost, our closer, Mr. Johan Duran, is
Play the music.
skipping World
Play the
Baseball.
music. Play the music.
Yeah, right. So, but everyone has been hard on Mr. Harper. I don't know if some of the fans seen his
Oh yeah, this I know you're gonna show. Yeah.
his T-shirt, but
Yeah.
he is and does have plans to join Team USA for this year's World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are glad that Duran's skipping it. You know, arms are funny when you use them a little bit more often, and they get worn out at the end of the year. But do you think having meaningful baseball as you know during that time is going to help Bryce get off to a better start this year, or do you think that it could hinder him in any way? Obviously, we got a thing going on with Bryce and the upper management. You know, ridiculous comments being said. You know, he's not elite, things of that nature.
Yeah.
What are your
I
thoughts
heard about that.
on Mr. Harper joining this year's World Baseball Classic?
I actually think it's a great thing because, obviously just for repping Team USA and whatnot, that's awesome. But I think getting the reps in and it's baseball. They play 162 games a freaking year anyway. I don't really believe, honestly, and maybe, I to an extent. I never really played at any level at all. But to an extent, I don't really think you need that much rest in baseball. Like, I don't think, as opposed to other sports, like, I don't think playing in this is going to hurt him at all. It's going to make him any extra rusty. It's only going to help him. It's going to have him, be hot. And if anything, and if the Phillies are having a great season or whatnot, maybe he just tailors it down towards the end of next season, gets ready for the playoffs. I don't know. But I think it's a great thing. I really do.
I'm 50-50 on this because last time he was in the Baseball Classic, came out in the beginning of the year and was very flat, then wound up getting injured, then wound up tearing it up towards the end of the season. So I'm kind of torn with it. He's a grown man. He knows his body better than anyone. So I'm not gonna beat him up over it. But buddy, you don't ball out this year. You're gonna remember the ugly side of what this Philadelphia fan base could potentially be. So.
Yeah, hey, that 13 years is a 13-year contract, man. You better figure this shit out.
I think he's still got another 6 years left. So I mean, more power to him if this is the route he's going. Now, we've been talking about potential moves and things of that nature that could be done. And I told you that they're going to try to unload some of these contracts, and it's for a good reason because when you look at it, that we're fifth already right now. If everything stays the way it is. $56 million in luxury tax penalties as we're sitting here right now. Do you think that Dombrowski and the rest of the upper management are willing to eat more to bring in another right-handed bat to protect Bryce? Another pitcher that where you don't have to rely on one of these young arms to replace a Ranger Suarez. You still have not resigned JT Realmuto, and apparently he hasn't responded to any of the management's reaching out to him. So a little bit concerned about what the current roster could look like.
I can't trust them, Steve. I just can't trust the management right now in the sense of because to the last couple of years, every year it's supposed to be the year, and we just don't. We can't get it done, right? So it's like here we are having the same conversation again in the off season, and I don't know if they're going to eat all that. Like like you said with those names, will they want to eat that? I mean, that's just it's a lot of this is Moneyball. It's not just baseball. It's Moneyball. A lot of money involved, floating around, and I just don't know. Like, this team needs help at certain positions, but I don't know. I don't know if I can trust them.
We'll see. Like I said, I think that Nick Castellanos, I believe Trey Turner could very well be guys that get packaged up, moved out, try to find ways to do things.
And maybe one day. I know Liam Castellanos is a big ball player. Maybe we'll get Liam one day to join the Phillies and carry on the Castellanos legacy. Whenever there's a tragedy going on in the world, we'll hit a home run.
Oh man, but as we're getting closer down to this, I want to get your, now. Obviously, we're talking about Phillies, right? So let me get your thoughts on this. Who is your favorite Philly of all time? Is it Utley? Is it Schmidt? Is it Kruk? Is it Harp? Is it Jimmy Rollins? Victorino? Is it Roy Halladay?
There are. I'm curious to see who yours is. There are so many legendary names you could pick from, and shout out to every single one of them. I gotta go. Pretty easy pick for me, Ryan Howard. So Ryan Howard is my favorite Philly. I know he's had his strikeout moments and all. I get all that, but I like Ryan Howard because I actually saw him when he was a Reading Philly. I have a lot of ties to Reading, Pennsylvania. Went to college out there for a few years and whatnot, so I saw him. I actually saw him play there, and I had a chance to meet him and get a selfie with him at the Devontae Smith celebrity softball game where he hit a home run this past season. So Ryan Howard, because of those just kind of little mini personal things, has been my favorite Philly.
Listen, I love the '93 Phillies.
Yeah,
I love the '08 Phillies. I love some teams after that, but my first true like Phillies guy I was enamored with was Mike Schmidt. But I talk to you about this catcher position all the time, right? And one of the first players that I actually physically met, at one of these signings was Darren Dalton. And
wow!
He was one of my guys before his unfortunate passing. When I went to that said signing, that was before the card show made you pay for the selfies, right? So
right.
So we got him to sign one of the cards I wanted him to sign, and he said, "Look, let's take a picture." My daughter was freaking out, right? Because because I put her down. So he immediately was like, "No, come on, you too, little one." So let's my daughter get in the picture and stuff like that. Now, obviously, she's attached to me like a monkey holding on to its mother, right? So, but I mean, it's one of those things that I just won't forget, and I still think that Dutch was very, very underestimated to what he meant to those early '90s teams, and even more so when him and Jim Eisenreich left in '97 and helped the Florida Marlins win their first World Series. I think was instrumental having those two guys there. I'll still say that I think in football, it's head coach and quarterback is the most important position on there. Just like I think in baseball, the catcher-pitcher relationship is the most important on the field. That Darren Dalton was the leader in the clubhouse. Outside of the clubhouse, he ran the rotation, and it's one of the reasons why I've already sat there and said it here to you a couple times. Why I feel that it's very, very important to re-sign JT Realmuto, whatever the dollar amount is, however many years he wants, give it to him. There is nobody out there that can run a rotation that is currently available to you that you could potentially have him fill those shoes. So, again, catchers are the unsung heroes of baseball, and Darren Dalton will always be my favorite Philadelphia Philly.
Everybody check out the Darren Dalton Foundation. They do amazing works to this day.
Man, anytime I see one of their posts, man, it's an automatic like, comment, share, just because it's his foundation, and the people that are running it, I think, are legitimate people who are actually looking into making a difference. So it's one of the reasons why I always go out of the way anytime I see Darren Dalton Foundation posts. Now, real quick, some Sixers stuff, and I do have to mention probably won't be on next week just because of timing, because apparently I'm going to a Sixers game next week.
Oh, nice. Going to
the Sixers Nugget game, yeah.
Nice. Well, let's
it's either that or me and you could figure out a way to record earlier in the day or something like that. But
hey, maybe we'll record live at the Sixers game. I'll find maybe find a way you can get Joel Embiid in the background.
I do have the StreamYard on my phone, but I think the sound quality wouldn't be quite as right.
But, watch Joel Embiid get a knee injury live on the podcast, everybody, next month.
Man, do not wish that upon him. We're trying to trade him.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. So we're good. We're good. Yeah.
But yeah, I think from what we've seen already this season, you can't if you're the Sixers front office cannot mix us as a VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey is the future of this team. Anything else is I think a movable piece, and you need to figure it out now to find a third person to put it into it. You trade Paul, you package up Paul George and Joel Embiid and somebody else, a pick package. Find them a third person that works well with this, because it's clear, because we've seen it, when they put Joe on the floor, it just, the spacing doesn't work, the flow doesn't work. I've already said it. Like, listen, immeasurably grateful for what Joel Embiid has meant to this team for over the past 10 years. I'll never take that away from Joe, but you gotta wonder what he has left to give to this city, to this team. And I've already said it, that if you could find a package that works, that you get somebody back that can contribute to the young core that you're putting together here, I think you have to pull the trigger.
I've said it a million times. This is it. This is it. I am fed up, man. This is it. I mean, this season. They either win it this year with him, or they don't, and he's gone. I mean, that I'm so serious, man. Like, I've given I'm not one of those even trade him this year before the trade deadline. I'm not one of those guys. I'm actually wait till the end of the season, but he gotta make the Eastern Conference Finals or make the freaking finals this season, or he's gone. He's out of here.
I don't disagree with you, and I'm more than likely going to be wearing a Joel Embiid jersey when I'm down there on the 5th, right? So I'm not gonna act like I don't got mad love for him. So
well, he's still the best damn player. I mean, he's one of the best players in the league. He's still Joel Embiid, but I mean, we all know the story, man, and I want that story to change this season. We all do. We all want it to change.
I do hope he rewrites and proves us all wrong for wishing that we find a trade package partner, whatever, that makes something work. But
and basketball's such a long season, man. We got to wait all the way till spring, like damn near. Yeah.
They got to show me.
So
man.
we got to wait a long time just to see and hope that they're going to be ready then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, as we're wrapping this one up, you said you got some announcement to make. What is going on in the world of Justin Fiorillio? What are some of the stuff that you're going to be involved with over the next week?
Well, you were mentioning those 90s Phillies teams. Anybody want to meet, hang out, get an autograph from a 90s Phillies player? Former pitcher Tommy Green, this New Year's Eve, 2 to 4 p.m. at the Philly Joe Tattoo Station in Newtown, Pennsylvania. Thanks to Justin Brown, JB Sports Ventures. He's bringing Tommy in we're doing a meet and greet, autographs, and I'll be there getting content. He'll sign pretty much whatever I think for you. Talk to you for a bit, get a picture. Tommy Green threw a no-hitter once for the Phillies. Outpitched Greg Maddux head-to-head in a game once before. Hey, I know it's New Year's Eve, but it is 2 to 4 p.m. It's not at night. If you're not doing anything, Steve, you want to, maybe link up and maybe go see a Phillies pitcher, hang out for a little bit. There you go. This New Year's Eve, 2 to 4. Philly Joe Tattoo Station.
And you said that's what, Newtown, you said?
In Newtown, yes.
Oh, you heard it here from Justin. If you're an autograph hound, you're a diehard Phillies fan, whatever. You want to have a chance to meet Tommy Green, talk a little baseball, take some pictures, do whatever. Hit up Justin on one of his social media platforms. He'll give you the information you need, and hopefully we see everyone out there. But
absolutely.
Again, another fun one in the book here. Make sure everyone's follow, subscribing to all of our content here on the South Florida Tribune Media Network. Obviously, you have me and Justin here, the JNS Philly Sports Stop at every Monday night. Tuesdays we have the Inside the Pigskin Show. Myself, Scott Caney, Morgan Rolfe, former NFL football players, Mel Farr Jr. for the Detroit Lions. You got Ben Troop from the Tennessee Titans. You have Marvin Powell III, former USC Trojan and New Orleans State. Wednesdays it's myself, Ben, and Marvin for the Fan in the End. There's so many different programs. I got 2 different interviews with combat sports fighters that are going to be going on this Sunday. I got one at 11 o'clock. Is one of the newer BKFC female fighters who was just got signed over the last month, and a good friend of mine who I've been covering since he was an amateur. He's had some legal troubles over the past few years. He just got home. He asked if he can catch back up with me, have a platform to kind of share some of his experiences that he's gone through over the last few years. So Timmy Tyler is going to be joining me Sunday at 2 p.m. So we have a lot of stuff going on, and then obviously tomorrow night I'm also going to be jumping on with Justin on his podcast as well. So we have a lot of stuff
Appreciate
here.
You, Steve. Yeah, Steve does a great job. He's one of my co-hosts on my Inside the Eagles show, and you guys if you like Steve's commentary, you got to check him out. He's on my show. We don't really have a set time, but he's on once a week, so you got to check it out. Inside the Eagles. Yeah.
Inside the Eagles is Justin's show, and again, for people tuning in, the QR code above me is for the South Florida Tribune website. And we also, I'm going to switch it out real quick. And here is for the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel, which we just passed that million views. I'm going to get that care package out to Eddie Prather as soon as I can. But other than that, this was another fun episode on the South Florida Tribune. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure you guys are stay tuned because the 108 Stitches Baseball Talk should be coming on within the hour here on the South Florida Tribune. But as for me, Justin, we are done for tonight. We will see you guys next week, whether it be pre-recorded, whether it be whatever. We will have an episode that will air, despite the fact I will be at a basketball game. I'll try to get as much content for you as well for that. Shoot you some videos and whatever. But
yeah, for sure. Making me proud, Steve. Making me proud getting that content.
Well, that's what we do. We share our experiences with our listeners, our fans, our supporters. But
yep.
Another episode in the book. We will catch you guys next week, my friends. Peace out.
Peace. Go Birds.